In southeastern Massachusetts, there is a mysterious area known as the Bridgewater Triangle. This location covers about 200 square miles and has gained a reputation for strange occurrences. The name Bridgewater Triangle was coined in the 1970s by a cryptozoologist named Loren Coleman. He chose this name after the infamous Bermuda Triangle, known for its unexplained phenomena. The Bridgewater Triangle is said to be a hotspot for all sorts of supernatural activities, including ghost sightings, UFOs, and even encounters with mythical creatures. The area is surrounded by a rich and haunted history that dates back to the time of the Native American tribes. The Wampanoag people, who originally lived in this region, viewed the land with deep respect. They believed that the Hockomock Swamp, located in the heart of the triangle, was a sacred place where spirits dwelled. In fact, the name Hockomock translates to the place where spirits dwell. The swamp was not only a source of life for the Wampanoag, but also significant burial ground. European settlers, however, had a different view of the swamp. They called it the Devil's Swamp, due to the strange happenings that they could not explain. As time passed, this area became known for its eerie legends and unexplained events. Many visitors who ventured into the Bridgewater Triangle have reported experiencing strange phenomena, from orbs of light floating over the swamp to sightings of shadowy figures lurking in the woods. In the years since Loren Coleman identified the Bridgewater Triangle, it has attracted many curious explorers, ghost hunters, and those seeking to uncover its mysteries. With its combination of Native American history, ghostly encounters, and reports of unusual creatures, the Bridgewater Triangle is considered one of the most haunted places in America. Each corner of this eerie triangle holds a story waiting to be told, and many believe that the area is alive with the spirits of its past. As we delve deeper into the haunted history of the Bridgewater Triangle, we will explore the various locations and encounters that have made this area infamous. From the dark depths of Hockomock Swamp to the shadows of abandoned buildings, the mysteries of the Bridgewater Triangle continue to fascinate and terrify those who dare to uncover its secrets. The Bridgewater Triangle has developed a fearsome reputation over the years, becoming synonymous with the unexplained. Many people view this area as a vortex of paranormal activity, and stories of strange encounters abound. Residents and visitors alike have reported witnessing unusual sights, hearing eerie sounds, and experiencing feelings of dread that seem to linger in the air. One of the most talked about locations within the triangle is the Hockomock Swamp. This wetland has long been associated with supernatural events, and its murky waters are believed to be home to various spirits. Reports of orbs of light dancing above the swamp during twilight and dawn have become common. The Wampanoag tribe believed that a powerful spirit named Hobomok dwelled in these waters, serving as the chief deity of death and disease. Many locals attribute the unusual activity in the swamp to this ancient spirit, suggesting that Hobomok still watches over the area. Dighton Rock, another significant landmark within the Bridgewater Triangle, adds to its mystique. The rock is covered with petroglyphs, which are carvings of uncertain origin that have puzzled historians for years. Many theories about the rock's creators exist, but none have been definitively proven. In 1963, the rock was moved to a state park to preserve it, but its origins remain a mystery, fueling speculation and intrigue among those interested in the paranormal. The Freetown Fall River State Forest is notorious for its connection to dark activities, including cult rituals and unexplained deaths. Over the years, the forest has witnessed numerous tragic events, including the murder of a young girl in 1978, which was tied to local satanic activity. Many believe that the negative energy from these events has contributed to the forest's haunted reputation, with reports of ghostly figures and strange noises echoing through the trees. As stories of these locations spread, the Bridgewater Triangle has become a magnet for ghost hunters, thrill seekers, and curious souls eager to uncover its secrets. People flock to the area, hoping to experience the supernatural for themselves. Some have come away with chilling tales of their encounters, while others have left feeling an overwhelming sense of unease. The Bridgewater Triangle is not just a place on a map. It is a collection of stories, legends, and unexplained phenomena that continues to draw interest. As we explore the specific locations and haunted encounters within this triangle, we will uncover the tales that have shaped its dark reputation and keep the spirit of curiosity alive. The Bridgewater Triangle is filled with notable locations that are infamous for their ghostly encounters and strange happenings. One of the most intriguing spots is King Philip's Cave, located in Norton. This cave is linked to Wampanoag leader Metacomet, also known as King Philip, who led a rebellion against British colonists during the late 1700s. Many visitors report strange experiences near the cave, including sightings of mysterious floating orbs of light, often referred to as spook lights. Some have even claimed to hear the distant sound of drums echoing through the woods, adding to the eerie atmosphere. In addition to King Philip's Cave, the Hockomock Swamp is home to Lake Nippanicket, which has become a hotbed for paranormal activity. Those who venture around the lake frequently report seeing large, shadowy figures moving through the trees, alongside claims of sightings of Bigfoot and other cryptids. Witnesses have described witnessing phantom fires on the water's edge that vanish upon approach, as well as strange lights flitting above the surface. These phenomena have drawn both amateur ghost hunters and seasoned investigators alike, all eager to document their findings. The Raynham-Taunton Greyhound track, now closed for live racing, is another significant site within the triangle. This location has garnered attention for its unsettling atmosphere and numerous reports of supernatural occurrences. Visitors to the surrounding woods have claimed to see UFOs and hear unexplained noises, including whispers that seem to come from nowhere. Some have reported glimpses of small, troll-like creatures known as pukwudgies, which are said to play tricks on unsuspecting passers-by. Taunton State Hospital, established in 1854, also plays a role in the haunted lore of the area. This former mental institution is known for its troubling history and has become one of the most talked about haunted locations in the Bridgewater Triangle. Many individuals have claimed to see apparitions roaming the grounds, including the ghost of an elderly man. Strange sounds, like banging and screams, can sometimes be heard coming from the woods behind the hospital, leaving visitors with a chill down their spine. Another haunted site in the Triangle is Mayflower Hill Cemetery in Taunton, which is known for its ghostly sightings and tales of restless spirits. People visiting the cemetery have reported feeling sudden drops in temperature, and some have claimed to see shadowy figures moving among the gravestones. These eerie encounters have led many to believe that the spirits of those buried there are still watching over their final resting place. As the stories and encounters continue to unfold, the Bridgewater Triangle remains a place of fascination and fear. With each reported sighting, the legend grows, drawing in those brave enough to explore its haunted history. As we delve deeper into the chilling accounts that have emerged from this mysterious area, we uncover the compelling narratives that keep the spirit of the Bridgewater Triangle alive. The eerie tales surrounding the Bridgewater Triangle don't end with its famous sights. They extend into the very fabric of the area's folklore. One of the most chilling stories involves the Hockomock Swamp. Local legend suggests that the spirit known as Hobomok, the chief deity of death and disease for the Wampanoag people, still haunts these wetlands. Residents living near the swamp have reported hearing disembodied voices and the sounds of footsteps when no one else is around. Some claim to have encountered shadowy figures lurking just beyond the tree line, creating an unsettling presence that lingers in the air. In the Freetown Fall River State Forest, the dark history of cult activity adds another layer to the area's haunting narrative. In 1978, the body of a 15-year-old girl named Mary Lou Marnuda was discovered tied to a tree in this very forest. The circumstances surrounding her death remain shrouded in mystery, fueling rumors of satanic rituals taking place in the woods. People hiking through the area have reported hearing whispers and rustling leaves, as if they were being watched. A few brave souls have even claimed to see hooded figures moving through the trees, suggesting that remnants of past rituals may still echo in the forest. Visitors to the area often recount personal experiences that contribute to the triangle's spooky reputation. One such story comes from a couple who decided to take a late-night walk near Lake Nippanicket. They reported seeing a glowing orb hovering just above the water, which suddenly shot off into the night sky at an incredible speed. This phenomenon left them both shocked and confused, as they struggled to explain what they had witnessed. Another chilling account originates from the grounds of Taunton State Hospital. A former patient, now a ghost hunter, shared her experience of being inside the old Goss building. While exploring the abandoned corridors, she felt a cold breeze sweep past her, followed by the unmistakable sensation of someone watching her. She described seeing a figure dressed in white standing at the end of the hall. When she approached, the figure vanished without a trace, leaving her shaken but eager to learn more about the spirits that lingered within the hospital's walls. The tales of the Bridgewater Triangle extend even further, with reports of phantom fires and sounds that cannot be explained. Campers in the Freetown Fall River area have reported seeing strange lights in the sky and hearing drums beating in the distance, but upon investigation, they found nothing. These occurrences have led many to believe that the land itself holds secrets that remain hidden from view. As the accounts of ghostly encounters continue to emerge, the fascination with the Bridgewater Triangle grows. With every new story, the area maintains its reputation as a place where the veil between the living and the dead is thin. The chilling experiences shared by locals and visitors alike only serve to enhance the mystery, leaving everyone wondering what other secrets the triangle might reveal. The Bridgewater Triangle stands as a haunting testament to the unexplained phenomena that have fascinated and frightened those who dare to explore its depths. With its rich history intertwined with the stories of the Wampanoag people, tragic events, and mysterious occurrences, this area in southeastern Massachusetts offers a unique glimpse into the supernatural. From the eerie whispers of Hobomok in the Hockomock Swamp to the chilling tales of shadowy figures at Taunton State Hospital, the encounters reported within the Triangle have woven a tapestry of intrigue and fear. Each location tells a story that echoes through time, leaving visitors in awe and sometimes terror. The strange lights, phantom fires, and the many sightings of cryptids like Bigfoot and Thunderbirds continue to ignite curiosity and invite further exploration. As people seek to uncover the truth behind these haunted histories, the Bridgewater Triangle remains a captivating subject for paranormal enthusiasts, historians, and curious adventurers alike. While skeptics may dismiss these tales as mere folklore, those who have experienced the unexplainable are often left with a lingering sense of wonder. What truly lies beneath the surface of this mystical land? The stories of the Bridgewater Triangle remind us that some mysteries may never be solved. The chilling atmosphere and the lingering spirit of the past keep the tales alive, inviting new generations to explore, investigate, and share their own experiences. In the end, the Bridgewater Triangle is more than just a geographical area. It is a place where history and legend intertwine, creating a haunting legacy that continues to captivate the imagination. As long as the stories are told, the spirit of the Bridgewater Triangle will endure, beckoning the brave to uncover its secrets. The Lizzie Borden House, an unassuming structure located at 230 2nd Street in Fall River, Massachusetts, is steeped in one of America's most infamous mysteries. Built in the mid-19th century, the house became the property of Andrew Borden in 1872. Andrew, a successful bank president and a prominent figure in Fall River's high society, was known for his austere lifestyle. Despite his considerable wealth, Andrew preferred practicality over luxury, choosing a modest house over the more opulent homes of his social peers. This decision was influenced by the house's proximity to his business on Main Street, reflecting his practical mindset. Originally designed as a two-family residence, Andrew had the house remodeled to accommodate his family's needs. The renovations connected the two separate apartments into a single home, yet Andrew still resisted modern conveniences. The house had no indoor plumbing or electricity, features that were becoming common in homes of their status at the time. Instead, the family made do with chamber pots under their beds and a two-stall privy in the basement, contributing to the home's outdated feel. This frugality extended to the interior, which was furnished in a plain, utilitarian style. The Borden family consisted of Andrew, his second wife Abby, and his two daughters from his first marriage, Emma and Lizzie. Bridget, the Irish maid, lived in the attic and helped with household chores. Despite Andrew's high social standing, the family lived a relatively isolated life, partly due to Lizzie's embarrassment over their modest living conditions. Lizzie, in particular, found it difficult to reconcile their middle-class home with the expectations of her wealthy friends, leading to a life with few social gatherings. This quiet existence took a sinister turn on August 4th, 1892. That morning, the household was plunged into horror when Andrew and Abby Borden were found brutally murdered. Andrew's body was discovered on the sofa in the sitting room, his face savagely hacked by an axe. Abby was found upstairs in the guest bedroom, similarly attacked and left in a pool of blood. The gruesome nature of the murders shocked the community and quickly garnered national attention. The investigation that followed was intense and highly publicized. Suspicion quickly fell on Lizzie, who was at home during the time of the murders. The trial became a media sensation, with newspapers across the country covering every detail. Despite the evidence presented against her, Lizzie was acquitted of the murders in June 1893. The jury found the case against her to be circumstantial and insufficient to convict her beyond a reasonable doubt. After the trial, Lizzie and her sister Emma moved out of the 2nd Street house. Lizzie purchased a more fashionable home on French Street, which she named Maplecroft. She lived there until her death in 1927, maintaining a life marked by the lingering shadow of the infamous trial. Meanwhile, the house on 2nd Street remained a site of morbid curiosity, its ordinary exterior belying the gruesome events that had unfolded within. In 1896, the house's address was changed from 92 2nd Street to 230 2nd Street, an attempt to perhaps dissociate from its dark past. Yet, the house's reputation only grew over time, becoming a focal point for those fascinated by the macabre and the unsolved mystery of the Borden murders. In 1948, the house was purchased by Martha McGinn's grandparents, who later turned it into a bed and breakfast in 1996. Visitors flocked to the site, eager to stay in the rooms where the murders occurred and to perhaps encounter the spirits said to haunt the premises. The Borden house's transformation into a bed and breakfast included tours that meticulously detailed the events of that fateful August morning. Tour guides were restricted to discussing the factual aspects of the case, yet the atmosphere of the house lent itself to a pervasive sense of unease. Rooms were furnished to reflect the period of the murders, complete with replicas of the crime scene, such as a mannequin in the guest room where Abby was killed, and autopsy photographs on the dining room table. Over the years, numerous visitors and paranormal enthusiasts have claimed to experience ghostly phenomena within the house. These tales have only added to the legend of the Lizzie Borden house, making it a must-visit location for those interested in true crime and the supernatural. The Lizzie Borden house, with its unassuming exterior, hides a chilling and eerie interior that has fascinated and terrified visitors for decades. Stepping inside, one is immediately struck by the period decor that painstakingly recreates the late 19th century ambience. Dark wood paneling, antique furniture, and dim lighting contribute to a sense of stepping back in time, into a house that still carries the heavy silence of its grisly past. The narrow hallways and creaky floors add to the house's unsettling atmosphere, Every corner seems to whisper secrets, and the air feels thick with history and sorrow. The parlor, where Andrew Borden was found murdered, remains one of the most unsettling rooms in the house. The sofa where his body was discovered still stands, a grim reminder of the brutality that took place. Visitors often report feeling an inexplicable chill as they stand in this room, imagining the horrific scene that once unfolded there. Upstairs, the guest bedroom where Abby Borden met her violent end is perhaps even more haunting. The room is eerily quiet, and the sight of the bed where her body was found sends shivers down the spine of anyone who enters. The mannequin placed in the room serves as a macabre focal point, a visual representation of the murder that still looms large in the collective imagination of those who visit. The room's decor remains true to the period, with heavy drapes and old-fashioned wallpaper, adding to the feeling of being trapped in a time warp. The attic, where the maid Bridget Sullivan lived, is another area that exudes a sense of unease. The cramped space, with its low ceilings and sparse furnishings, feels claustrophobic. Visitors often feel a sense of being watched, or an overwhelming sadness when they enter this space, attributing these feelings to the lingering presence of Bridget or other spirits tied to the house. The kitchen and dining room also play their part in the house's eerie charm. The dining room table, adorned with autopsy photographs, is a stark reminder of the forensic examination that followed the murders. The juxtaposition of everyday items with these grim relics creates a surreal and disconcerting experience. The kitchen, with its old iron stove and outdated appliances, seems frozen in time, preserving the daily life of the Borden family before tragedy struck. At night, the house takes on an even more sinister character. Shadows cast by the flickering light create unsettling shapes, and the usual creaks and groans of an old house take on a more ominous tone. Many guests who stay overnight report hearing unexplained footsteps, whispers, and the sound of doors opening and closing on their own. The house, shrouded in darkness, seems alive with the restless spirits of its past. Despite these unnerving elements, the Lizzie Borden house continues to attract visitors drawn to its dark history and the possibility of encountering something otherworldly. Each room tells a story, and the walls seem to hold on to the emotions and energies of those who lived and died within them. This oppressive atmosphere, coupled with the house's tragic history, creates an environment that is both fascinating and terrifying, a place where the past and present seem to blur together in a continuous loop of horror and intrigue. The house has become a magnet for paranormal enthusiasts and ghost hunters, all eager to experience the supernatural activity that has been reported for years. Visitors often recount a variety of eerie experiences that defy logical explanation, making the house one of the most haunted locations in the United States. One of the most common paranormal encounters in the house involves the apparition of an older woman, believed to be Abby Borden. She is frequently seen in the guest bedroom, where she was brutally murdered. Guests who stay in this room report waking up in the middle of the night to see a misty figure standing at the foot of the bed. Some have even claimed to feel a cold hand touch their face or shoulder, as if Abby herself is trying to communicate from beyond the grave. In the parlor, where Andrew Borden was killed, visitors often experience an overwhelming sense of dread and sadness. Many have reported seeing the shadowy figure of a man sitting on the sofa, where Andrew was found dead. This figure is usually accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature, and some people have felt a pressure on their chest as if they are being watched or suffocated. The unsettling feeling often lingers long after they have left the room, leaving a lasting impression of the house's haunted nature. The attic, where the maid Bridget Sullivan once slept, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. Investigators using EVP, electronic voice phenomena, equipment have captured clear recordings of a woman's voice, believed to be Bridget's, calling out for help or pleading for someone to leave her alone. Visitors have also heard footsteps pacing back and forth in the attic, even when the space is completely empty. The sound of a woman softly crying can sometimes be heard, adding to the sense of sorrow and unease that permeates the house. The basement, where Andrew Borden installed a 2-stall privy, is considered by many to be the most terrifying part of the house. Dark and dank, the basement has an oppressive atmosphere that seems to amplify the fear of those who enter it. Visitors have reported seeing dark figures moving in the shadows, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling an inexplicable sense of being watched. Some have even claimed to feel an icy breath on their neck, as if a ghostly presence is standing right behind them. Guests who stay overnight at the bed and breakfast often experience a range of unexplained phenomena. Many report hearing the sound of children laughing and playing, despite there being no children on the property. Others have described the feeling of someone sitting on the edge of their bed, only to find no one there when they turn on the light. Doors open and close by themselves. Objects move without explanation, and lights flicker on and off, creating an environment of constant unease. The staff and tour guides at the Lizzie Borden house have their own share of ghostly encounters. Many have seen apparitions, heard strange noises, and felt sudden cold spots while conducting tours or going about their daily tasks. Some refuse to enter certain parts of the house alone, and a few have even quit their jobs after particularly frightening experiences. These paranormal sightings and encounters have only added to the house's legend, drawing more and more curious visitors each year. The chilling tales of ghostly apparitions, eerie sounds, and unexplained phenomena make the Lizzie Borden house a place where history and the supernatural intertwine, creating an atmosphere that is both fascinating and terrifying. The stories of ghostly encounters at the Lizzie Borden house continue to intrigue and terrify those who dare to visit. As more people share their experiences, a clearer picture of the supernatural activity within the house emerges, solidifying its reputation as one of the most haunted places in America. One particularly chilling account comes from a guest who stayed in the infamous guest bedroom. She awoke in the middle of the night to the sensation of being watched. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she saw a faint, glowing figure of a woman standing at the foot of her bed. The figure's eyes seemed to bore into her soul, and the room became unbearably cold. Paralyzed with fear, the guest watched as the apparition slowly faded away, leaving her breathless and trembling. The next morning, she found bruises on her arms, as if someone had gripped her tightly during the night. Another spine-tingling story involves a group of paranormal investigators who spent the night in the house. Using their equipment, they captured several EVPs, including a clear voice saying, "Help me," and another whispering, "Leave now." In the basement, one investigator felt a sharp, icy breeze and saw a shadowy figure dart across the room. When they reviewed their footage later, they discovered a chilling image of a face peering out from behind a beam in the basement, an area that had been completely empty when they were there. Guests have also reported hearing disembodied voices throughout the house. In the dining room, where the Bordens would have had their meals, people have heard the soft murmur of conversation, as if the family is still gathered around the table. Some have even caught snippets of arguments, with a woman's voice raised in anger and a man's voice responding in a low, stern tone. These auditory phenomena often occur late at night, when the house is quiet and the atmosphere is heavy with the weight of history. One night, a couple staying in the house decided to explore the attic, where Bridget Sullivan once slept. As they climbed the narrow stairs, they heard the sound of a woman crying softly. When they reached the attic, they found it empty, but the crying continued, echoing around them. The couple felt a sudden, overwhelming sadness and decided to leave. As they descended the stairs, they felt a cold draft follow them, as if an unseen presence was urging them to go. The house's staircase, where Lizzie Borden claimed to have discovered her father's body, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. Several visitors have reported feeling an invisible hand push them as they climb the stairs, causing them to stumble or lose their balance. Others have heard heavy footsteps behind them, only to turn around and find no one there. The sense of being followed or watched on the staircase is so intense that many guests refuse to use it alone. In addition to these encounters, some visitors have experienced physical sensations that they can't explain. One woman felt a sharp pain in her side as she stood in the spot where Andrew Borden was murdered. Another guest felt a sudden, intense headache while in Abby Borden's room, only for it to disappear as soon as she left. These physical reactions add another layer of mystery and fear to the already eerie atmosphere of the house. The stories of paranormal encounters at the Lizzie Borden house are numerous and varied, each adding to the legend of this haunted location. Whether it's the sight of a ghostly figure, the sound of disembodied voices, or the feeling of an invisible touch, the experiences of those who visit the house suggest that the spirits of Andrew and Abby Borden, and perhaps others, still linger within its walls, unable or unwilling to leave the place where they met their tragic end. As the tales of paranormal encounters at the Lizzie Borden house continue to spread, the fascination with this historic home shows no signs of waning. Visitors from all over the world come to experience its eerie atmosphere, hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural and perhaps solve the mystery that has haunted Fall River for over a century. Despite the fear and unease that many feel within its walls, the Lizzie Borden house remains a popular destination for those drawn to the macabre and the unknown. The current owner, Lance Zoll, has embraced the house's haunted reputation, offering ghost tours, themed dinners, and even murder mystery nights to entertain and educate guests about the house's dark history. The blend of historical fact and chilling legend creates an unforgettable experience for all who visit. The house itself stands as a testament to the unresolved past, with each creak of the floorboards and each gust of wind through the old windows serving as a reminder of the grisly events that took place within. The original furnishings, carefully preserved, transport visitors back to the late 19th century, allowing them to walk the same halls and touch the same surfaces as Lizzie, Andrew, and Abby Borden. Despite the commercial aspects of the tours and events, there is a deep respect for the history and the lives lost within the home. The guides, knowledgeable about both the facts and the folklore, strive to present a balanced view of the Borden family and the tragic murders. They honor the memory of Andrew and Abby Borden, while also acknowledging the unresolved questions and the possibility of Lizzie's involvement. For those who believe in the paranormal, the Lizzie Borden house offers a unique opportunity to connect with the past. Many leave with stories of their own encounters, adding to the ever-growing collection of ghostly experiences associated with the house. Whether or not one believes in spirits, the sense of history and the weight of tragedy are undeniable. In conclusion, the Lizzie Borden house remains a place where the past and present collide, where history and legend intertwine. It's a place that challenges visitors to confront their fears, to question the unknown, and to consider the possibility that some mysteries may never be fully solved. The legacy of the Borden murders continues to captivate and terrify, ensuring that the house on 2nd Street will remain an enduring symbol of American true crime and paranormal intrigue for generations to come. Concord Colonial Inn in Massachusetts is one of the oldest and most famous haunted hotels in the United States. Located just half a mile from the historic North Bridge, this inn was built in the early 1700s, long before the Revolutionary War began. The North Bridge itself holds historical significance as the location of the shot heard around the world, which marked the start of the war in April of 1775. With its deep roots in American history, it's no surprise that the inn is said to be haunted by spirits from a time long past. During the Revolutionary War, Concord's Colonial Inn played a vital role as a makeshift hospital for wounded soldiers. The inn which was originally a home owned by Dr. Timothy Minot, became a refuge for those injured in battle. Dr. Minot used part of the building to operate on soldiers, many of whom didn't survive. As the years passed, stories of strange occurrences and ghostly encounters began to spread, cementing the inn's reputation as one of the most haunted locations in Massachusetts. Today, thrill seekers and history enthusiasts alike visit the inn not just for its colonial charm, but to experience the eerie atmosphere and perhaps catch a glimpse of one of the spirits said to linger within its walls. The haunted history of Concord's Colonial Inn continues to captivate visitors, making it a must-visit destination for anyone curious about the paranormal. As time passed, Concord's Colonial Inn became known for more than just its connection to Revolutionary War history. The inn began to gain a reputation for its haunted past, filled with eerie encounters that span generations. The building's long history, stretching back to its beginnings in the early 18th century, provided the perfect backdrop for the unexplained. The inn's haunted history seems tied to its role during and after the Revolutionary War. While it had served as a hospital and medical center for wounded soldiers, many believe that the intense suffering and loss of life during that time left a lasting impression on the building. The spirits of those who did not survive their injuries seem to linger, haunting the halls where they once fought to stay alive. Guests and staff alike have reported strange and unexplainable events for decades, and this history of eerie happenings has only added to the inn's chilling reputation. Some of the most well-known hauntings at the inn involve the spirits of caretakers from the Revolutionary era. It's said that these spirits, perhaps still feeling responsible for the soldiers they treated, roam the hallways to this day. They're often seen as shadowy figures, silently moving through the hotel, as though checking on the guests. Others have heard whispers in empty rooms, or footsteps behind them when no one is there. The hotel's role as a morgue during the war also plays a significant part in its haunted reputation. Room 27, which once housed the remains of fallen soldiers, has become a focal point for paranormal activity. Guests who dare to stay in that room have reported a heavy, oppressive feeling, as if the sorrow of those long-past days still lingers in the air. Some even claim to have seen apparitions of soldiers or caretakers still wandering as they once did. With such a deep connection to the Revolutionary War and so many lives affected by its events, it's no wonder that Concord's Colonial Inn has become one of the most haunted locations in Massachusetts. The history, mixed with the emotional intensity of the time, has created an atmosphere where the past seems unwilling to let go. Within the walls of Concord's Colonial Inn, certain rooms and areas have become notorious for their supernatural activity. While the inn's long history gives rise to general hauntings, there are specific spirits and haunted locations that guests frequently encounter, adding chilling details to its ghostly reputation. One of the most famous haunted rooms is Room 24, often referred to as the heart of the inn's paranormal activity. Numerous guests have reported strange phenomena here, such as objects moving on their own, cold spots, and the sensation of being watched. The most unsettling experiences, however, come from those who have awoken in the middle of the night to see a shadowy figure standing at the foot of the bed, watching them. This figure is believed to be the ghost of a former resident who refuses to leave, perhaps tethered to the room by unfinished business. Then there's Room 27, the infamous room that once served as a storage space for bodies during the Revolutionary War. This room is home to one of the inn's most active ghosts, the spirit of a nurse named Mary. Mary is said to have cared for soldiers in this very space, and her protective nature appears to carry on into the afterlife. Guests staying in Room 27 have reported waking up to see a woman dressed in old-fashioned clothing standing by their bed. Often she appears to be tending to them, as though mistaking the modern-day guests for wounded soldiers from the past. While her presence is unsettling, she's not considered malevolent. Mary's ghost seems to be more of a caretaker, albeit one who can never truly rest. The main dining room is another hotspot for paranormal encounters. Several guests have witnessed chairs moving on their own, lights flickering for no apparent reason, and even the sound of silverware clinking when no one is dining. Some believe that a spirit, perhaps that of a former guest or employee, still frequents this room, making their presence known in subtle but unmistakable ways. A woman in a gray dress has been spotted walking through the dining room, disappearing into thin air as she passes through walls where there once were doors. The tavern area is known for its ghostly activity. Many believe that the tavern's atmosphere, lively and bustling in its heyday, continues to attract the spirits of those who once drank and socialized there. Some patrons have reported seeing ghostly figures seated at the bar or hearing disembodied voices engaged in conversation. Staff members have often heard the faint sound of laughter or music, as though the echoes of the past are still alive in the present. From shadowy figures to full-bodied apparitions, the ghosts that linger in Concord's Colonial Inn seem to be tied to the history of the building. Each room and area has its own unique hauntings, making every corner of the inn a potential site for an eerie encounter. Beyond the well-known haunted rooms and areas, Concord's Colonial Inn has several lesser-known spaces that are said to be occupied by restless spirits. These hauntings are just as unnerving, with guests and staff experiencing eerie phenomena in unexpected places throughout the inn. Room 9 is another space where paranormal activity has been reported. Guests who have stayed here often describe feeling an overwhelming sense of unease, as if they're not alone. Some have seen glimpses of a man in old-fashioned clothing, standing near the window, staring out into the distance. Others have felt cold hands brushing against their skin, or heard faint whispers coming from the corners of the room. This ghostly presence is thought to be that of a former innkeeper, eternally watching over the establishment, perhaps still trying to ensure that everything runs smoothly, even in the afterlife. The hallways of the inn are also known for their ghostly activity. Several visitors have reported hearing footsteps echoing down the hall late at night, only to find that no one else is around. Shadows have been seen darting across the walls, and some guests have even felt a sudden chill as they walk down certain corridors. These hallways are said to be frequented by spirits who wander aimlessly, perhaps unaware that they've long since passed from the world of the living. One particularly unsettling spot is the basement. While it isn't a place where guests typically go, staff members have reported strange occurrences down there. Some have felt an oppressive presence, as though something or someone was watching them from the shadows. Others have heard muffled voices, despite being alone. The basement, with its dim lighting and old stone walls, carries a dark energy that many believe is connected to the building's centuries-old past. Some speculate that it might be the lingering presence of soldiers who died during the Revolutionary War, or perhaps even older spirits tied to the land itself. The library is another area where paranormal activity has been witnessed. Known for its cozy, peaceful ambiance during the day, the library takes on a more mysterious air after dark. Some guests have reported seeing books flying off the shelves, or hearing pages turning on their own, as if an unseen guest is still browsing through the collection. Others have seen the figure of a man in colonial-era clothing, quietly sitting by the fireplace, only to vanish when approached. This spirit is believed to be that of a scholar or intellectual who once frequented the inn and continues to do so, drawn to the knowledge and history contained within the library's walls. Lastly, the kitchen is a surprising source of ghostly encounters. Staff working late at night have heard pots and pans clattering, despite no one being in the room. Some have even seen utensils move on their own, or caught glimpses of shadowy figures out of the corner of their eye. The kitchen is thought to be haunted by a former cook who refuses to leave, still preparing meals long after their time on Earth has ended. These lesser-known hauntings add to the Colonial Inn's already chilling reputation, showing that almost every part of the building holds a ghostly secret. Whether in the basement, the hallways, or the quiet corners of the library, the spirits of the past seem to linger, making their presence felt in both subtle and unmistakable ways. The layers of history embedded in the walls of Concord's Colonial Inn have woven a haunting tapestry of ghostly encounters, eerie occurrences, and lingering spirits. From the tragic past of Room 24 to the unsettling presence in Room 9 and the strange happenings in the hallways, basement, and kitchen, it's clear that the inn is much more than just a historical landmark. It stands as a testament to the lives lived and lost within its walls, with spirits that seem unable or unwilling to move on. What makes the hauntings of Concord's Colonial Inn so captivating is the range of experiences shared by so many visitors. The apparitions of doctors, soldiers, and former guests paint a vivid picture of a place where the past is still very much alive. But it's not just about ghost sightings or eerie noises. Many of these spirits seem to have personal ties to the inn. Whether it's the lingering doctor who continues his work in death, or the mysterious figures who drift through the hallways, these spirits are tied to the inn in ways that keep them rooted in this world. For paranormal enthusiasts, ghost hunters, and even casual visitors, Concord's Colonial Inn remains a must-visit destination. It's a place where history comes alive, sometimes literally, and where the veil between the living and the dead feels particularly thin. Each room, each hallway, and each quiet corner seems to hold a story waiting to be told, and perhaps that's why so many are drawn back to this haunted inn. In the end, the Colonial Inn's eerie charm lies in its ability to make the past feel so present. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying the strange energy that fills the building. For those brave enough to stay the night, it offers the rare opportunity to experience a place where history and the supernatural intersect. From the chilling whispers to the unexplained footsteps, the spirits of Concord's Colonial Inn offer a haunting reminder that the past is never truly gone. It lingers in the shadows, waiting for the curious and the bold to uncover its secrets. Salem, Massachusetts, is a city that has long been known for its dark and eerie past. The most infamous chapter in Salem's history is undoubtedly the witch trials of 1692, where 19 people were executed for being witches. This period of hysteria and injustice has left a lasting mark on the city, making it one of the most haunted places in America. As you walk through the narrow, cobblestone streets of Salem, it's easy to feel the weight of history pressing down on you. The old buildings and cemeteries seem to whisper secrets of the past, and there is an undeniable chill in the air. Gallows Hill is perhaps the most notorious haunted location in Salem. It was here that the accused witches were executed, and many believe their spirits still linger. Visitors have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and fear, as if the tragic events of the past are still playing out. Some have even claimed to see shadowy figures moving among the trees, or hear faint, mournful cries on the wind. Another well-known haunted spot in Salem is the House of the Seven Gables. This historic mansion, built in 1668, was the inspiration for Nathaniel Hawthorne's famous novel. The house is said to be haunted by the spirits of those who lived and died there, as well as the ghosts of the accused witches. Many visitors have reported strange occurrences, such as doors opening and closing on their own, cold spots, and unexplained sounds. Salem's haunted history is not limited to the witch trials, though. The city has seen its fair share of other dark events, and the spirits of those involved seem to have stuck around. The Joshua Ward House, for example, is haunted by the ghost of Sheriff George Corwin, a brutal man who was responsible for many of the interrogations and executions during the witch trials. Visitors to the house have reported feeling a tightness in their chests, as if they are being choked, and seeing the ghostly figure of Corwin himself. As we delve deeper into the haunted history of Salem, we will explore these and other locations in greater detail, uncovering the stories of the ghosts that still roam the streets of this historic city. Salem's reputation as a haunted city has only grown over the centuries, fueled by the stories and sightings that continue to emerge. The witch trials left an indelible mark, but the city's eerie atmosphere is also shaped by the countless tales of ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena. The legacy of the witch trials is palpable, but there is a deeper, pervasive sense of unease that permeates the town. The spirit of Bridget Bishop, the first person executed during the witch trials, is said to haunt the Lyceum Bar and Grill, which was built on the site of her former apple orchard. Patrons and staff have reported seeing her apparition, dressed in old-fashioned clothing, wandering through the restaurant. Objects move on their own, and the scent of apples sometimes lingers in the air with no obvious source. Bridget's presence is a reminder of the tragic events that unfolded in Salem, her spirit seemingly unable to find peace. Another figure from the witch trials, Giles Corey, is said to haunt the Howard Street Cemetery. Corey was pressed to death with heavy stones for refusing to enter a plea, a brutal method of execution. His ghost is often seen wandering the cemetery, and his appearance is considered a bad omen. Those who have encountered him report a sense of dread and foreboding, as if his tortured spirit is warning them of impending doom. His tragic story and restless spirit contribute to the overall feeling that Salem is a city where the past refuses to stay buried. The Joshua Ward House is another cornerstone of Salem's haunted reputation. Built on land once owned by Sheriff George Corwin, known as the Strangler, for his cruel interrogation methods, the house is a hotspot for paranormal activity. Visitors and staff have reported being choked by unseen hands, doors slamming shut, and objects being thrown across rooms. Corwin's ghost, along with that of Giles Corey, is believed to be responsible for much of the activity. The house stands as a chilling testament to the cruelty and injustice of the witch trials, with its spectral inhabitants seemingly trapped in an endless cycle of torment. Salem's haunted history is not confined to the witch trials alone. Over the years, the city has become a magnet for those interested in the paranormal. Ghost tours and haunted walks are popular attractions, drawing visitors who hope to catch a glimpse of the supernatural. The combination of historical tragedy and modern-day fascination with the paranormal has cemented Salem's status as one of America's most haunted cities. As we continue to explore the haunted locations in Salem, the stories of these restless spirits will reveal the darker side of this historic town. Salem is home to numerous locations where the paranormal is reported with unsettling frequency. Each site adds to the city's reputation as a hub of ghostly activity, drawing both skeptics and believers alike to witness the otherworldly phenomena that seem to pervade the area. The House of the Seven Gables stands as one of Salem's most iconic and haunted locations. Built in 1668, the house inspired Nathaniel Hawthorne's famous novel and has been a focal point for ghostly stories ever since. Visitors to the mansion often report strange occurrences such as sudden cold spots, disembodied voices, and unexplained movements of objects. The house, now a National Historic Landmark, offers tours that showcase its rich history, but those who step inside may also encounter the lingering presence of the Pynchon family from Hawthorne's tale, whose shadows seem to stretch beyond the pages of fiction. Old Burying Point Cemetery, the second oldest cemetery in the United States, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. It is the final resting place of several key figures from the witch trials, including Judges Jonathan Corwin and John Hathorne. Visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures and feeling an unsettling presence, particularly near Judge Hathorne's grave. His harsh role in the trials and subsequent graveyard hauntings create an aura of unease, with many feeling that his spirit is still watching over the cemetery, unsettling those who come to pay their respects. Wicked Good Books, a well-known bookstore in Salem, is infamous for its ghostly disturbances. The store's reputation for paranormal activity stems from its history and the discovery of hidden tunnels beneath it. During renovations, construction workers uncovered these tunnels, which contained evidence of desecrated human remains. Since then, reports of books flying off shelves and unexplained noises have become common. The store's staff and visitors alike have experienced the eerie feeling of being watched, and many believe that the spirits from the tunnels are the source of the disturbances. In a Pig's Eye, a restaurant located in the Derby Street area, is said to be a particularly haunted spot. The area's history as a red light district with shady dealings and secret tunnels has contributed to its ghostly reputation. Patrons have reported hearing disembodied voices, feeling sudden drops in temperature, and experiencing unexplained phenomena. The restaurant's location near historic brothels and illicit activity adds to the sense of unease, with many believing that the spirits of those who suffered there continue to linger, manifesting their discontent in the present day. These locations, each with its own unique history and spectral residents, contribute to the dark allure of Salem. The city's haunted reputation is deeply tied to its past, and the ghosts that linger in these historic sites serve as reminders of the tragedies that once unfolded there. As we continue to explore Salem's haunted past, it becomes clear that the city's supernatural activity is as much a part of its story as its historical events. As we delve deeper into Salem's haunted lore, several other locations add to the city's sinister reputation, each with its own unique ghostly tales. The Salem Witch Museum, located on Washington Street, is a focal point for those interested in the witch trials. But beyond its educational exhibits, visitors have reported unsettling experiences. Many claim to feel an oppressive atmosphere as they walk through the exhibits, with some even describing a sense of being watched. The museum's connection to the witch trials, combined with the dramatic reenactments and artifacts on display, seems to stir the restless spirits of those who suffered during that dark period. Staff members have occasionally heard disembodied voices and witnessed objects moving on their own, adding to the museum's chilling reputation. The Phillips House, an 18th century mansion on Chestnut Street, is another site known for its spectral residents. This historic home, which once belonged to a prominent Salem family, has been the center of numerous ghost stories. Visitors and caretakers have reported seeing apparitions of former residents, including a woman in period clothing who is believed to be one of the original inhabitants. There are also tales of footsteps echoing through empty rooms and sudden cold spots. The house's long history and its association with Salem's elite give it a haunting presence that intrigues and unsettles those who explore it. The Hawthorne Hotel, the historic hotel named after Nathaniel Hawthorne, also has a reputation for being haunted. Located on the corner of Essex and Hawthorne Streets, the hotel has been a focal point for paranormal activity. Guests have reported strange occurrences, such as flickering lights, unexplained noises, and even sightings of ghostly figures in the hallways. One of the most frequently mentioned spirits is that of a woman in old-fashioned attire, believed to be a former guest who never checked out. The hotel's storied past and its connection to Salem's dark history make it a hotspot for those seeking ghostly encounters. The Ropes Mansion, situated on Essex Street, is known for its stunning gardens and historical significance, but it also has its share of ghost stories. Built in the 18th century, the mansion is rumored to be haunted by the spirits of former inhabitants. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly figures in the windows and feeling a strange, cold presence in certain rooms. The mansion's connection to Salem's past and its well-preserved interiors create a perfect setting for paranormal activity, making it a favorite among those interested in the city's haunted heritage. These additional haunted locations in Salem provide further insight into the city's spectral history. From museums and historic homes to hotels and gardens, Salem's eerie reputation is sustained by the countless ghost stories and paranormal experiences that continue to intrigue and terrify visitors. Each site adds to the rich tapestry of Salem's haunted legacy, offering a glimpse into the restless spirits that linger in this historic city. As we conclude our journey through the haunted city of Salem, it's clear that its dark history and spectral legends continue to captivate and terrify those who dare to explore its haunted sites. The blend of historical tragedy and ghostly folklore creates an atmosphere unlike any other, where the past is never truly left behind. The chilling tales of Salem's haunted places serve as a reminder of the city's tumultuous past. The spirits of those who perished during the witch trials seem to linger, their stories woven into the very fabric of the city. From the ghostly apparitions at the Salem Witch Museum to the unsettling experiences reported at the Phillips House and Hawthorne Hotel, it's evident that Salem's spectral residents are very much a part of its present. Salem's haunted locations offer more than just eerie experiences. They provide a tangible connection to the past, allowing visitors to engage with history in a deeply personal way. Whether it's the restless spirits of the witch trials or the more recent hauntings at historic homes and hotels, Salem stands as a testament to the enduring power of its dark history. For those drawn to the macabre and the supernatural, Salem remains a city where the past is never truly gone, and the ghosts of history continue to cast their shadows over the present. As you walk through Salem streets, visit its haunted sites, and hear the ghost stories, remember that you're not just exploring a city, but stepping into a living, breathing piece of history. Salem's ghosts remind us of the fragility of life and the shadows of the past that can linger long after the events that created them have faded. The haunting allure of Salem continues to intrigue and unsettle, ensuring that its place in the realm of the supernatural remains as strong as ever.